to be 4-1 now.
So this is match point. And unlike our group stage where we did have the revive rule, where if one team was on match point, the other team could bring back one of their defeated players in the playoffs, that rule no longer exists. So Eternal Dreamers does have to move forward with their roster, bring out somebody new to try and bring themselves back. And whoever this is going to have to be the one who wins the whole thing for them if they're going to stay in this, as they can't let StarCraft Ascension get another win in any of these games.
Now, for Eternal Dreamers, it's going to be Baldwin coming out. Do we have any information on Mr. Baldwin?
We do. He's an 18-year-old, and he started out in competitive gaming in Halo, but switched to StarCraft in 2011. He started playing StarCraft because he saw it at an MLG event when he was competing there for Halo. It was his first RTS, and he started out at Bronze, but his now approaching Grandmasters, so he's come a long way. He's played at MLG Columbus 2011 and 2012, and he made it fairly deep into the 2012 losers bracket. So competitive player, definitely a good choice, an experienced player, knows how to handle them nerves. So we'll see how he's able to hold up.
And we have a
in
new
this match
matchup
point.
as it's going to be a ZVZ, so that's exciting. Also, I want to throw a big shout out to DOS Keyboard. Thanks for sponsoring SC2CTL. They're really putting themselves out there and giving up 5 keyboards to the winning team, so that's going to be really awesome. Go to Twitter and give them a tweet and let them know we sent you. That always does good things for the league and for us to let the sponsors know that we're supporting them, and that will encourage them to support us more. So take a second, go out and do that, and also let us know in chat what you're thinking up about the games. This is about the community, so we want to hear from you. Give us your hype, your predictions about the games, and that will be awesome as we jump on into game number 6, match point for StarCraft Ascension.
Game number 6.
And in game number 6, we are going to have on the lower left-hand side of Star Station, it is going to be our Zerg opponent from Eternal Dreamers. It is Baldwin.
And in the top right-hand corner, representing Team StarCraft Ascension, showing strong Ling-heavy play in the first game that he was out, taking out Happy, it is BioIce.
That was definitely a prepared build that BioIce pulled out last time, all those Lings. That kind of, sort of does sometimes and doesn't all other times work against Zerg, because all it takes is a couple Banelings to thwart an attack like that down, but a Protoss that puts down a fast expansion like that is just wide open to a huge Ling swell like that.
Yeah, BioIce really playing well off of the read that he was getting from that Overlord that he had at the front of Happy's base. So that was a big boon. We do see a 10 pool coming out of Baldwin.
Yeah, Baldwin certainly wants to get some action going here right away. And now he's putting down a gas as well. Oh,
Gastric.
Yep, Gastric. So Baldwin going with a quick slow-ling aggression here, it looks like, as we'll see what Boyce does to react, but right now it's looking like he's just planning on making drones.
Oh, and he's going to go
hatch first. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean,
and that's going to leave him defenseless against these Lings as they come in.
Oh,
yeah,
man. BioIce needs to scout this out right away, or he's going to be in big trouble. He's already in big trouble as this pool is done and 6 Lings are in production, Gallegation.
Yeah, and BioIce doesn't have a drone on its way over. So he's only got the Overlords going over to scout. He's not going to be able to see this. He's not going to be able to respond in time. The spawning pool now just going down, but those Lings are going to be in his base before it's even done.
That's absolutely correct, and more drones in production as that hatchery is going down, and it looks like the Overlord isn't even going to be able to scout these Zerglings coming out. It's going down to the south now instead of directly across the map. Perfect opportunity for Baldwin to get in here and put the cinch on BioIce's neck real fast. So as we look at this, it's okay. Do we need to call 911?
I think I'm all right. I think I got it handled.
Well, get ready, because here comes the action as these Lings are about to come into BioIce's base. This hatch is going to pop almost simultaneously as these Lings come in. BioIce is so far behind right now. He hasn't made a single unit yet. He doesn't even have his pool just finished. Doesn't even have a queen. Now just the queen going in production. Bad news bears, Gallegation.
That is bad news bears indeed. Yeah, he's not even bothering to make any... Oh, I'm sorry. He does have 4 Zerglings in production, pulling all the Lings, putting a Spine Crawler down on the main, or sorry, all the drones. And he's going to try and kill these off with the help of the Broodlings that are going to pop from this natural. So that's great play there. Oh my goodness, great micro from BioAce.
He does lose a couple of those Lings, but still gets out with 4, and BioAce loses a base. But he's going to be fairly safe against this now as he's got the Spine Crawler coming down. So, I mean, how do you say as far as who's ahead and who's not? I mean, speed coming down at the same time. Both players now equalized on 1 base. I mean, BioAce did lose 300 minerals from losing that base, but, you know, the food counts are identical. Looks like we're on a fairly even footing right here.
Yeah, amazingly, you know, BioAce is down a few drones to Baldwin, but he's not really all that far behind, as you would think. And BioAce actually has the Zergling advantage at this point. So even though he did lose that base, he lost a decent amount of resources. He does not find himself quite as far behind as one would think.
Yeah, if we look at units lost, it's 350 to 106 right now, so that's really not that huge of a differential, and 300 of that 350 is a hatchery. There's an Overlord here to see if BioAce does put another base back down, but both players getting a Baneling nest, so you know, Baneling's not going to be a huge advantage for one or the other aside from just control.
Yeah, it's going to come down to good connections at this point. Both players, like you said, are going to have those Banelings, so what they need to do is make good trades with them. If they're losing Banelings to single Zerglings, then they're going to fall way behind, and that is not what you want to see happen. Trading Banelings for Banelings, as long as you can get, again, good trades, then you'll be ahead. But there's a huge force for Baldwin coming across, and BioAce meets him in the middle of the map. There are more Lings there for BioAce, so Baldwin is forced to retreat back to the remainder of his Lings.
Oh, a nice reinforcement of Lings there, so we're just having some back. Oh, huge Baneling connections.
That was really smart by BioAce there. He was retreating his Lings, making it look like Baldwin had the advantage, but in reality he was just making his... he was catching up with those Banelings. So now he's going to put the aggression on, and, you know, Baldwin has the Baneling nest. He has 2 in production, 2 Banelings, but I'm surprised he didn't make them, you know, sooner than he did.
Yeah, this is just a huge positioning battle right now for these two players, as they both have fairly equivalent number of Lings. If we look at units, it's 11 Lings to 15 with 2 Banelings for Baldwin. So, you know, now we enter the phase of positioning in the ZVZ. Looks like BioAce running a bunch of Lings through another group of Lings. Going to lose a couple there as he gets chased back now.
And both players, you know, taking those naturals.
Huge Baneling connections in the middle of the map as BioAce loses. Baldwin loses every single one of the Zerglings that were in that group. BioAce had 2 Banelings that killed about 15 Zerglings.
And those are the types of trades that we were talking about earlier. Those are the ones that you want to get.
So BioAce now trying to settle in here and take an expansion as Baldwin has done. He does have a Spine Crawler down here to stop anything from coming up his ramp. So maybe looking at a little bit more of a wax phase here as they still poke around at each other in the middle of the map.
BioAce doing a really good job of controlling those Banelings. Baldwin trying to get single Lings out. Does manage to take that out. And now those Baldwin's Lings are free to charge down those of BioAce. BioAce does have some more Banelings at the top of his ramp, which he is now retreating to. One does come down. Oh, but doesn't detonate on anything. Better detonation there.
Yeah, that was really close, though.
And, oh no, BioAce is going to lose that Queen. Spine Crawler is able to get some kills, but there's so many Lings here now running in to the mineral line.
Looks like Baldwin has won the Ling war as he's got Lings in BioAce's base, and BioAce does not have anything to answer except this Queen, which is going to go down.
Drones are being pulled, microing that Queen around. Does get some good microing action. Now Lings are coming out to try and reinforce this. And BioAce, you know, frankly, he's got to get another Baneling out here.
And BioAce losing so many drones right now. He's putting himself so far behind. 8 drones killed so far by Baldwin. And he's still got Lings near poking around.
But frankly, you know, the drone count is still even. There's 17 to 18, so
yeah,
if BioAce is able to clean this up.
Look at the food count, though. Baldwin is just going nuts now with Ling production. 20 in production right now, and there was another 20 in production a minute ago. So he's going to be flooding these out, knowing he's got an advantage here.
He absolutely does, and, you know, I'm surprised BioAce hasn't made more Banelings. Obviously, there's, you know, not really the minerals to do so. There's one.
And it only takes one, doesn't it?
It really does. It only takes one. You've got to be super careful. I mean, obviously, if you lose those, then you're in big trouble. Oh my gosh!
Or
12 banelings in production.
Or 12. Oh, but Bio Ice going to be taking out a lot of those banelings before they can finish, but they're about to pop. Oh, but they do get canceled.
And this is where Bio Ice is going to be in huge trouble. There are so many banelings. He has one of his own, and if he can get a good connection there, oh! I almost wonder if those Baldwin's banelings actually don't get as great a connections as you would have thought they would have with as many as there were, but Baldwin's numbers are just overwhelming now.
Yeah, he's got 38 Zerglings to the 8 now of Bio Ice, so this is going to be the end for Bio Ice, it looks like, as the overwhelming numbers of Baldwin are just too much for him.
Bio Ice trying to use these overlords to prevent any micro action.
Really, the difference here, I think, has been the queens that Baldwin, and that's the GG.
Here it is.
There was no GG, but that was the end of the game. I really think the difference there was Baldwin was able to get some pretty clutch queen snipes as he was running through with, at the point when he still had fairly equivalent numbers of Zerglings, and that really kind of stopped Bio Ice from being able to get those injects to get the larva to be able to hold the numbers.
Yeah, and if you saw Bio Ice's gas was just astronomical compared to his minerals. He wasn't able to keep the economy up to support as many Zerglings as he needed. He had the gas to make banelings, but if you don't have the minerals, then you can't make the banelings either. So it is a balance game there. He probably should have taken some of those guys out of gas, but if you decide that you want to tech real fast, that gas is great to have. So Bio Ice does go out. Baldwin keeps his team in it.